Oh well, I'm actually going to start a little earlier because I am just excited to play, basically. Sometimes I wait like upwards of like 5 minutes, but right now I'm just impatient. See many good games to play, and I want to continue them. How are you doing, everybody? You're a patient person? Well, I am not. In fact, since you're here, Gwen, let's make your game first. Because I've been looking forward to it. No problem. I forgot what floor it's on. I believe it's floor number 2. But it might be free. Assuming that it doesn't randomize every time that I restart. Which I am hoping not. There we go. There it is. I thought it was on the second floor. So, an Outcry. Sudden loud noises, misgendering, transphobia, fascism, suicide, flashing lights, smoking, drinking. What doesn't this have, Gwen? We're starting off the stream kind of spicy over here. An exploration of life in a doomed country under the wings of a vague menace. Quinn K, Kitet Bowser. Stream Elements is still not giving me notifications. Thank you for the... Oh, hi, Broken. Or is it, Aiden? I'm not sure which one of you did that, but thank you for the follow. Cadet Bowser, Hope Grovelands, okay, Soft, MC, Oscar, Leaflet, and 3D63. I actually have a game by OK Soft that I still haven't played. Believe it or not. I was actually going to start with... Ooh. Hello, friend. Can we interact? No. Well, let's go behind door number 5. Actually, it's not. It is, Night Witch. I am trying to get the game to show up. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's why I was a little confused as to which one was you. Window capture? Okay. I mean, I'm glad that this is the first one so far that I've had any issue starting up. So I suppose that's a good thing, right? Is it still not showing up? Oh, do you know why? Because I have the Haunted PS1 menu over it. There we go. Okay. Love voting screens. We were actually just stuck on the all characters portrayed in this story are fictitious, and a resemblance to existing puppet figures is both incidental and inevitable. This game deals with numerous heavy topics. View content warnings. This game contains one or more instances of sudden loud noises, misgendering. Yep. Just in case. Please use its discretion and most importantly, prioritize your mental and physical well-being over finishing or even playing this game. Thank you. This game is controlled with arrow keys. Use Z key or spacebar to interact. X cancels. C opens the menu. Okay. Please play with headphones if possible. Done. Distant bird calls welcome to night. I can't read. This is already off to a great start. An itch. No matter how far you walk, you never feel like you're there.
Tales of our endeavors proliferate.
Thank you for the host, Aiden. Setting up from the chair, the unnamed tosses a book to the ground. The itch intensifies. They forget. They need to scratch what is in their chest. Shoes get pulled over their heels. A jacket wrapped around their shape. The door is opened. They emerge. This music song is really, really nice. Now they are almost in their hands. Almost. Yeah, it's always almost, isn't it? The unnamed turn towards the door, then back. They feel their pockets for desired items. Their cigarette, their lighter, their keys. Shit. They forgot all of it. Going to be a long night. I feel very attacked right now. They need to get their mail downstairs. The wrist is slender and not to do that without keys. Their addiction is a different story. They need a lighter and cigarettes. Not the first time they've made the rounds looking for that. There's a lot of time to kill. Enough time to bum smokes off every one of their neighbors. Well. Mr. Schmidt opens the door. A strong odor of burning cigarettes fills the air, overwhelming even to the unnamed train's nose. Schmidt's fingers are clamped around the smoke. From what little of his apartment they can see through the crack, it is furnished entirely with natural wooden tables, cupboards, and bookshelves. You, at my door at 10 p.m. Yes, me at your door at 10 p.m. What do you want, boy? Well, go away. I have an excellent model ship to build, and you've snapped me out of focus. The unnamed sighs. Conversations with Schmidt typically don't go differently from this one. Maybe Mrs. Eason will give them what they need, or better yet, Anne. I was thinking the same thing. Cigarette beggars almost every day. Yeah, I know. At work, all the time. I can't relate to this protagonist already. It's actually intentional? Nice. Miss Yilmaz? They think that was her name. Honestly speaking, she is probably the neighbor they know the least about. I wonder when we will eventually get a name. Their paths briefly cross from time to time, specifying when she is following her janitorial duties around the building. Got on my phone. Nice. As the unnamed knocks, an exhausted voice calls. I'll be right there. Soon, Miss Yildirim, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that very incorrectly, opens the door. From behind her, the unnamed can faintly hear two small young boys arguing. Good evening. Good evening, miss. I am just giving up on pronouncing your name. That is almost my name. Hey, nailed it. I'm sorry. Mrs. I'm still married. Shit, off to an easy start. What did you want to talk about? I've been feeling isolated. How have you been, madam? Do you smoke? I'm a little sad no one else apparently got that. I got it in my head. But I just did not verbally say it. I've been feeling isolated, and I know that feeling. Screeching is heard from inside the apartment. One moment. Yells something in what the unnamed presumes to be Turkish at her children. The noise turns to giggling, then silence. Your children seems like they're company enough. Well, I can say that I am happy to be talking to you right now. Okay. How have you been, madam? I can't complain. I guess I can. I should be grateful, actually. Working is hard, but living could be worse. Yeah, aren't you the janitor here? Mm-hmm. The unnamed can tell she is straining her smile. There is an uncomfortable pause in the conversation. It is too late that the unnamed realizes that Miss Geldrim expected them to complain about something or other. Your point being? Nothing really. Actually, yeah, how come I see you so rarely? Let's get that question out of there. I'm not just a janitor here. I clean other places also. Must be difficult. And time-consuming. Yes. What does the landlord pay you? Ooh. This house. I am paid this house. What, free rent and everything? The rest of us has to pay. Mrs. Gildrim, I'm sorry. Thanks. It is late. I don't have any cigarettes. Good night. Ah, yes, the illusion of choice. This young needs a boat. They're locked out. May as well bump cigarettes off the neighbors to kill some time. There are ways this can go better, actually. Yeah, they hesitate. They don't think trying again would do them good. Schmidt has nearly punched them once before. Damn. Best to walk away. Gotcha. Oh, is there another door here? Yeah, there is. I'm sorry. The building's elevator shows its age. They'd rather not ride it until they have what they need to smoke. Alright, so let's go to this side. Gotcha. On the only non-smoker. Behind the door, refurbished and polished to a sheen, lies a dreary hole swallowed by whitewashed walls that flicker in perpetual TV static. This is Miss Eason's place. After a few seconds of silence, she approaches and opens the door. Her nightgown is dirty and reeks of cigarettes. Why, hello, who do we have here? The boy, but a girl. But a boy. Let me tell you, when you moved in here, XXXXX, you were half your current size. You're never going to be a girl like this, let me tell you. Damn. Haha, yes, of course. Yeah, I needed to ask. Yes? Got a cigarette to spare? Pardon, dear? I said... Did I hear that right? Oh. Haha. You cannot be serious, dear. Oh, no. I certainly do not have any handhelds to give to someone as you. I thought you and I were on friendly terms, and here you are asking me again for a gift. Giving not in return. Ever. How wrong I was. Pray tell, oh. You vowed to clean up all the cigarettes so you carelessly littered the courtyard with, and who else but I relied upon you and everyone else to clean up after you. You give to the old woman whose throat, you consider yourself a reader and a smart aleck and own them that you're going out. You will never be one, my dear, that is not cruelty, but oh, I am not afraid, not a fruitcake such as you. Same. Any which way, I cannot give you even a single cigarette. That's very different from what I was reading for a second there. Until you have paid me for the ones that you have already taken. I can certainly spare more if you were to go to the Toposis for me. But oh dear, it's closed 3 hours ago. You may have to just wait. Always a pleasure, Gertrude. Quite the opposite, dear. Pull your damn weight soon. And for heaven's sake, eat less. Good night. Pardon? I said good night, Mrs. Eason. That is Miss to you. We have such friendly neighbors. Always a pleasure. The unnamed has a son and fought. They were told in therapy to be more assertive. People may have more to say if they press their request with them, people like Smith. Or, they'll at least feel bothered enough to give them SIGs. Okay. Let's get really... Always a problem with me trying to open these doors. The unnamed quietly smiles at himself before their knuckle meets the door of their friend. Oh god, who? Coming! Sway back and forth on their heels, waiting for one in Periot. The self and other proclaimed poet extraordinaire. Ooh. And here she is, 'tis I, your gal pal. I am. How are you doing, girlfriend? Haven't seen you leave your apartment for anything but a smoke this past week. Can't be healthy. Oh, I see. Huh. Well, you have to bear with my pleasantries first, whilst they're hot. How are you? I'm a nervous wreck, and oh geez, you keep that kind of thing down. Usually, is it that bad? Come on, out with it, young lady. I feel bad in my body. It's the addiction to itch. I locked myself out. Don't call me that, please. Let's go with the addiction. Oh yeah, the itch is an old familiar. I keep him, locked away quite nicely. I'm down to 5 a day. Good for you. Don't worry, if I had that cigarette, I'd offer you one right now. I don't even have a lighter. Oh, baby, I got a veritable million of those. Suit yourself. Which one do you want? Trans rights. A girl after my own heart. Here you are. The unnamed got a trans flag lighter. There's like no other choice for me there. Thank you so much. Are you coming to smoke one with me? I'm so sorry, dear. I don't have any to spare. The cupboard and cupboard boxes are bare. No tail in sight, no smoke, no light to hail the flame to burn so bright. Who said that? An extraordinary poet. Smith's probably got what you need. I could smell his flap from the other side of the building. Tell you what, if you want to loop around the gossip or need help, just let me know. Thank you, and see you later. Teehee. She's adorable. Alright, well, I guess we'll go back to Mr. Schmidt. A long, drawn-out groan is audible, coming closer. What the devil do you want now, boy? Failed to ask you before. How goes the shipbuilding? Yeah. Why is this more important to my very simple request? Come on. Went fine and dandy until you showed up. Good. Hurry the fuck up and tell me what you want. May I have a cigarette? I certainly did not like that. Sure, little man, have a whole pack. Knock yourself unconscious on that sweet, sweet perfume. You know my cigarettes are self-rolled. I buy the tobacco from overseas. You'd better fucking appreciate it. And also fall unconscious and sleep. Got it. Will do, Quinn. And quit disturbing me while I'm building model ships. Is this really okay? Yeah, sure, I roll like 100 of them every day. Knock yourself out. Sweet, we finally got our SIGs. Are they strong? Fuck, little buddy. They sure are. They'll knock the wind out of you. Now go have a pleasant smoke and then scoot off the fuck to bed. And make no more noise. That won't be possible. Locked myself out. Ooh. Long night ahead, huh? Well, don't come crying to me about it. No one open the unnamed can hear the volume on the TV set being pointedly increased. They hear a groan, shuffling, a sigh. Then the sound of someone sinking back into their chair. There's a loud grunt, then a furious exhale. The unnamed thinks they can hear Smith slowly count backward from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smith is thundering. Shut the fuck up! Alright. Gonna resist. So, do we go back to the elevator? Or do we go back to our abode? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, no, not suspicious whatsoever. Also remember, they will knock us out. He only said that like about 3 times. I hate this thing. The elevator stalls from time to time. They're always caught off guard by its arrival. Come on. Finally, about time. Okay, at least it goes down relatively fast. The one thing I already missed is the music. The unnamed slides their hand into the mail slot. They can feel a small sheet of paper. They catch it between their fingers and pull it out. Oh. Package arrived whilst they were sleeping. Due to occupant absence, it was left at the front door of the building. Oh no. Oh. The Vienna City Belt. A place of restriction. The constriction of tenant belts and cheap liquor served to hungry heads. People pass here only ever to get through, or by, the unnamed should know. Their package is not before the main elevator entrance, sorry. But there's something suspicious lying in the road they should look at. Yep, I see it. Superscene. Stumbling block. Substantive. A figurative hurdle to somebody's thoughts causing them to fail. An art piece by artist Gunter. Then inscribed here are the names of people killed by a force of fate. Here lived a name, a human being, a person, a specificity. I can't. A span of time in history. Institutionalized or fled, then caught by the Nazis and murdered. Killed on a specific date. Not the only one on that day, and a specific place designed for killing. Justice is palpable here, with this memorial one among thousands. The unnamed eyes unfocused and stare off to the distance. Take a look around. Yeah. Select objects of interest with the arrow keys. Examine with space or Z when the cursor changes. Press escape or X to return to the unnamed. Nope. The Austrian right-wing party advertises full force in the strict of the city. Well, that's mildly terrifying. Only a little bit. Like spores, these politicizing posters saw the Cheshire man smile into the brains of the despondent. He really does. Like, I'm nearsighted, so I can't see worth shit. If I was in this situation. Their eyesight is amazing. His eyes are unnatural steel blue, his features photoshopped to eternal youth. Every so often, the unnamed will linger before one of these posters and examine it. They always contain these strong slogans in inexorable letters. Statements like, our money for our people, no livelihood for foreigners. Let's take Vina back. Your foreign neighbor isn't safe. Against lies and corruption, we, it will soon turn out, are plenty corrupt ourselves. Vote the Freedom Party's Sebastian Shiri for Councillor, 2017. You would think this might polarize, but the unnamed still isn't sure whether to vote against or for them. Well, I know what I'm voting. There. Beneath the many wheels, there is a battered copy of Robert Coover's The Public Burning. The contents of their package, it is unsalvageable. Just seeing their head just tilt down just made me a little sad there. I'm sorry, unnamed. A piece of paper that has completely receded into the street. Thus. No, I wanted to... Wait, hold up. What is over there? Looking at this stunted tree in the station's shade, the unnamed is reminded of their old therapist. His office even now is just a couple paces from their apartment. At one point last year, before they would switch to someone different, that therapist gave them the task of drawing a tree. So they did, and handed in the result. The response they got was... That's it. Jeez, I'm going to therapy and I'm being judged by my art skills. They felt a little alienated from their therapist in that moment. It seemed almost like he wasn't assessing the maybe with the tree, the actual point to the therapeutic exercise, but their lack of art skills. Soon thereafter, other pieces were slot into place. The heated discussions on therapy time about whether fixing bikes and computers counts as art. His obsession with keeping the unnamed a smoker. Is this what artists do, etc. And, of course, partner therapy. They'd really rather not think about Alex again. Well, that was a lot more than I was expecting from a tree in the background. The UB line is a rotten place, full to the brim with people, most of them impoverished. They didn't like to admit this to themselves, but the unnamed too is poor. They have tried time and time again to get a job to no avail. So they kept trying and trying and trying. Their circum virtue in their dead hands. Not impressive enough. Yeah, honestly. Cars sped by, all going the same direction, further and further down the bend of the city belt. The old police and ambulance sweared their way past the unnamed. One time, about 2 years ago, the unnamed had made a decision. They would go into the road and become a windshield passenger, like a bird or a bug. Yes, like a bug. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Gwen there. At 1 a.m., they had set their first step onto the tire-flattened asphalt. The day's fading heat warmed their shoes. No cars came for a few minutes. Traffic lights had changed, yet soon their approach turned imminent. For a moment, the unnamed did not care. It brought to mind the light at the end of the proverbial tunnel, a release, a better place. However, some kind of inner conviction pulled them, forced them back into the pavement. They swallowed their tears until they got back inside. All reasons, any reasons, weren't good enough. Aren't good enough. But sometimes, even now, they still want to go back to that moment and fight their survival instinct. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything first. Yeah, one of those moments for sure. Oh, does it? Okay, my bad. The noise of the city bell is ever present. The unnamed can hear it on their apartment. The morning traffic greets their day. The sirens startled them. No, it's fine. They can't escape, at least for now. I started the stream late, so there's definitely going to be less time for me to stream. The unnamed has a rich history. The U6 line. There's a reason they prefer their bicycle. The unnamed has never seen any public servants heading to the street. Is probably barely good enough to wear a political poster. Ah, yes, this guy again. Sebastian Steele, this is perhaps known to the city, to the people of Vinny, that the city's own mayor. The unnamed is sick of looking at his face, if they are honest with himself. I don't blame him, because I've only been playing this game for about half an hour, and I already am as well. Ha. They really need a cigarette. Not here, though. In the courtyard, shielded from the noise. The unnamed wishes the car just took the damn thing with it already. Alright, and I think that's it. Alright, to the courtyard. How do we get out from here? The door won't open without keys. Fuck, okay. Okay, well, I guess that's my question. And then you could, I hate it, but good job. I wonder who that is. The ring and doorbell, door number 105. Who was there? Me, sorry, Ann. You're silly. Did you try to smoke out on the street? Yeah. Well, yeah, not quite, but yeah, I know I tried. Come on, Indy. I'll keep it on the auto buzzer from now on. Did we look at that? The building bulletin board. There are 4 notices. Which will they examine? Notice for delivery drivers. PSA, lights not working. PSA, no fire extinguishers. Rent is overdue for Corber G, Burnoff F, Seibenstein A, and Yildrim E. Make a payment immediately to a BV. The need for legal action. The eviction. I too need to make a living. I am very sorry for this inconvenience. Regards, the landlord. No name, just the landlord. Dear post-doc delivery drivers. 1. This building's fire door numbers start at the top and end at the bottom. The lower the apartment number, the further upstairs it is. The last shall be the first, a familiar sentiment, I'm sure. 2. If you arrive after dark, do not attempt to use any light switches. Do not shine your flashlight into any of the residents' windows. People are trying to sleep. 3. If you decide to make your disgruntlement known through vandalism, I will not hesitate to call the police. 4. If you are unable to read this notice, please find Miss Yesma Yildrim, our brave janitor, at door number 7. I'm very sorry for your inconvenience. Regards, the landlord. There's a notice in Turkish, written with a careful blue cursive posted underneath. Thanks, colleague Gilson. I do not know what that means. I did not speak Turkish, unfortunately. But I'm sure that, if I remember correctly, I could look it up after. Dear Cousin Resident, I have received your notice regarding the wiring in the halls and its present incapacitation. It was heard loud and clear. From henceforth, rent shall be doubled as to account for my being required for your request to save up for the complete electrical overhaul of this building. This house is from the 1930s, so its wiring is irreparably obsolete. It lies outside my power to fix it. As you feel a personal responsibility to right this wrong, I suggest you bring a flashlight with you at night or move out. I'm very sorry for your inconvenience. Dear concerned residents, while I harbor some measure of goodwill towards those distressed by the darkness of the halls, I do not recognize your complaint at all. Notion that this building, or any building, dare I say at all, could catch fire is preposterous. I suggest that as your worry of perishing in a fire is so great, you purchase your own personal extinguisher, maintain it regularly, and stop smoking in your abode. There only ever is fire when there is smoke, and he who is guilty prefers to point at his fellow man. I am very sorry for your inconvenience. Regards, the landlord. You know, landlord, that is how the fire starts. Out in the fresh city air, car fumes dampened by the apartment walls encircling them. The unnamed thinks, time to poison this place some more. They flick the lighter, igniting it. Stone sparks firing at gas. The itch in her chest, the gaping maw, makes grabby hands, flicks his jaw. Nice. I want the little rhyme there. At the cigarette even before it is lit. I love the game's writing. I just cannot just pronounce and enunciate correctly right now. Yeah, name feels like they can focus a lot better now. Like their mind has traveled out of their body, like a carbon monoxide copy of them was sent to a safe place. Saved. 20 cigarettes, 15 slots, diminish. Oh, hi! Thank you for the bit, Chris. And thank you for the well wishes. I hope your night is going well. 20 cigarettes, 15 slots, diminished now by 1. They had better make the most of that. I don't think I've really mentioned the art of this game, but it really is great, especially the transition to cutscenes like that. I was so very excited, like, just at the idea of playing this game. For that alone. And Outcry. Whew. Well, that was certainly quite the first game. In a good way, of course. I'm assuming that was it, or... Oh, there's more. I'm sorry. I just saw the title screen and thought that was it. My bad. The unnamed watches their exhaust travel about like a restless stray. Well, I was about to say it was pretty subtly horrific, and it seems like we're about to get a little more unsubtle. They snap out of their nicotine stupor as the sound of a distant outcry, title drop, is carried to them. Its reverberations are felt far and wide, amplified by the surrounding walls. Follow, ignore. Yeah, sure. Let's follow it. Something has burrowed itself deep in the unnaked's brain. A conviction, a steadiness. There is nothing more here. You should go talk to Anne. Alright. Gotcha. Hello. Hello. Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Stop and linger for a spell. What? Who? Never mind. Never mind and never mind. Life indifference is unkind. Name us, see the birdness. He's on the bricks. On the bricks. Oh, there he is. Now I see him. What the fuck? You know, it's better suck it up. Questions asked from birdness now. Is this not the final straw? Should this not be well explained? What makes birdness so disdained? People don't hate birds. I'm sorry, you're just creeping me the hell out. Terrific, it's birdness. He's... Is it birdness? He's... Think again for D. Terrific, birdness. This is asinine. It's also my injured heart. Apologize, you blatant sight. Look, I don't care about you right now, you glowing hallucination. I need to go back inside. What would nameless hearts and mouths yet defend from birdness peaks? What? Are you threatening me? Did you or did you not follow an outcry? I did. Then, get. Yep, okay. See you around. Take the elevator? Yeah. You know, it's certainly just normal, just talking to random birds. Talking birds. Probably has nothing to do with the cigarettes we were given earlier. Again, I missed the music from earlier. And? Come on, please. Oh. I didn't realize that soon would be now. Oh, you brought friends! And help me, please. Oh. But I want to get this, baby. I'm in the middle of writing this bastard of a smut book. What gives? It took me a second to realize what that said. Oh, God. Is everything alright, baby? What happened? Can you call a locksmith, please, Anne? Oh, darling, of course. You should have said you needed one sooner. Poor baby, all alone in the cold and dark. Anne pinches her cheek. Aw. Hey, come on in. I got some writer's block solvent open, so feel free to have a sip as well. We'll warm you up. Come on, have a seat. What's your... Oh, I didn't mean to. I think it's what's your problem or something like that. I thought you only had one kind. Maybe you need to do your homework on all things, and if you truly thought that. What do you want to cure your tyrannical slump tonight? Tyrannical slump. Martini or bourbon? Bourbon, sure. Alright, your hard-boiled egg, but I'm not fixing you a second one if you don't like it. I must say the character writing between these two characters are just really nice, by the way. So tell me, what's eating you? Hopefully not the birds. What's your points? Okay. I read P, but I wasn't sure the rest of it. You always do need to get that coax out of you, huh? Come on, have your first sip of the truth serum. Am I help? A little bit, considering what's happening. Okay. Well, baby, let me ask you something. What's eating you? I'm scared for my mental health. I think it's asleep. Yeah, I'm a little worried. Oh dear, baby, it's a good thing you came to me. Just remember, I got drinks, so there's ice cubes as well. Use them if you need. No, it's not that. I saw a bird. And then they brought friends. I heard a bird speak. Oh, the birds are speaking to you? I think I see your point now. Well, this is a daft little question, but what did it say? So, there was this horrible sound first, like the end of an era of peace and the start of an era of terror. I don't like the second option, so we'll stay a little optimistic here and say that was the end of peace. I felt like I shouldn't stand by. I had to take some kind of action, and resolved to do so. I had no other choice but to. Sure. Although I guess earlier we were told to say have more convicted choice of words, maybe. I heard the sound too. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. That's good. At least, not yet. Yeah, it spooked the hell out of me. Thank Christ I wasn't the only one. Boots marching and sirens wailing and screams within screams. Whispers. Walking round, going door to door. Yes, that was it. I've been in frightening situations, but whatever it was we heard was otherworldly. So, what of the bird? Its eyes were orange, its voice were hoarse. Its beak was long and its plumes gray. But it was no crow or jackdaw. What did it say? It said that I had insulted it, that it would hurt me. That I had insulted it, and that I should apologize for making light of it. Peculiar, this whole affair. Well, I'm sure you were just spooked like myself. There must be a logical explanation for the sound and what you heard. I'll call your locksmith now. Thank you so much. Don't mention it, baby. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that I was giving back control. Hold on, hey, don't snoop in there, please. I'm sorry, curious. Alright. It'd be rude to leave now? Oh, do we just interact with her? Okay. Anne finishes her phone call. He says he's in the area. He'll be knocking in, though. Oh, hell, I left the thing on Autobuzz. I did hear traffic when he was around. Maybe he was just that close by. I don't think it's a locksmith fan. I suppose I should check. I suppose so, too. Are you going to finish your drink? No, but thank you. Oh, all good. Just leave it there. I'll pour it out. Alright, thanks, Anne. Oh, hey you. Yeah? Whatever is happening, I think your rest will do you lots of good tonight. Sleep well, little one. Thanks, Anne. Be safe. Well, at least if, you know, assuming that it is in fact the locksmith that arrived. In the moment of most choices, you don't realize you're making one. Little dominoes tumble, gears click into place, and much, much later, you see what changed. You have chosen for the unnamed, knowing that their choice is all they are. Keep watching your diorama. Keep playing with your doll. Oh god. Oh. Huh, the locksmith must have... Weird. Well, hey, at least I can get into my room now. The fridge opens against the kitchen counter, meaning they have to walk around its door to get the food they're preparing out of it. It's a minor annoyance, nothing more, but it is one among many in this apartment. The unnamed chooses to joke about it, there's nothing else they really can do. The unnamed laptop. A piece of shit and a half-broken limbo, held together with tentacle know-how alone. They really need a new one, but can't really save up sufficiently to get one. Rent is more important. God. Sometimes they wonder what it would be like to still get Christmas gifts from family. Good God, stop calling me out, game, please. There's a tight squeeze between the oven door and the adjacent cupboard. Okay. The bicycle chain. For their projects. Shelves filled with books, column to column. A box of various memories sits at the bottom. Concert tickets, board games, decades-old handheld consoles. The chair was acquired a year ago. They terrorized the entire MU6 line getting it home, but it was free. Has seen all of it? Okay. Free is all they can afford these days. They left the complete place, it's right on the ground earlier. The unnamed is too tired right now to put this heavy book back on the shelf. The bedside table and lamp. Why did they leave their keys in there? There's also the half-empty pack of cigarettes tucked away in this drawer. Yeah. I'm of the same opinion. It does add to the game a lot, and that's why I am trying to check all of it. At least the ones I can find. The unnamed got 5 cigarettes. Sweet. Cigarettes acquired. Power cells for the project. A lofty goal for somebody as poor as them, maybe. But they just really want an electric bike. We'll get it unnamed. Okay. I thought the, Oh, there was actually new dialogue there. A radio and CD player combo sits in between them, its display glowing orange in the dark. They fall asleep more easily with the radio on. Might do that tonight. Yeah, see, I saw the object in there. The unnamed trench coat. Their father gave it to them when they were younger. It's only come to fit more loosely on them. The loudspeaker. Just no further description, just the loudspeaker. Okay, that can't be interacted with. Alright, well, let's check the bathroom. It is pitch black outside. Usually, there would be a faint glow of streetlights, peculiar. The unnamed hates looking at themselves in the mirror. A toilet. I just love the ones that describe the objects. Nothing confronts the unnamed more inevitably with their twig-like shape than showers. Dysmorphia nods at them as they get clean. Though this recently changed for the better, it's still not easy. Glad it's getting better for them though, at any rate. Okay. Trying to figure out what else is there. Okay, that just turns the lights on and off. I assume that if we get into bed, it'll just... Okay. No, that was fine. Oh, CD collection. The unnamed notices their favorite CD among them. It's Spoiler's self-titled album. They didn't have a car or friends that could have helped get the chair home. So they dragged it all the way from Innsbruck here alone. From the owner's apartment down the street, through the suburbs, to U6 line, down the stairs, into the train in time, out of the train in time, down more stairs, across the city belt, through the main entrance, and up to the 4th floor. They wish they had someone that could tell this story. Somebody like you. God. A comfortable chair. Okay. For their project. I'm here for you, unnamed. They let the complete play as a partial bridge on the ground earlier. The unnamed is too tired right now to put this heavy book on the shelf. Right. Okay. We did read that. We did read that one. Yes. Okay. The trench coat. There's a quote somewhere that suddenly flashes the unnamed's mind. Maybe his suit has taken control of his brain. Piece of shit laptop. Yep. They might like to watch some bike repair videos in bed, but they'd rather not roll the dice on whether their computer will even work right now. Okay. Listen, this guy just wants his bike. They want their bike, I'm sorry. I don't know. There's a tight squeeze between the oven door and the adjacent cupboard. Okay. Actually, I already checked this one twice. I don't know why I checked it again. Nothing confronts the... Alright, toilet had no further description. Gradually, of every gaze cast upon their shape, their physical dysmorphia worsens for looking closely. They notice cheekbones and jawlines and misplaced freckles, and crooked noses and glossy eyes with long lashes and tears in their eyes. The unnamed hates looking at themselves in the mirror. Gotcha. Alright, we'll walk away from the mirror for you. Bedside table and lamp. I think that's everything I could find. Am I missing like one thing? That's everything? Sweet. Alright. I'm glad to be the first. The unnamed unmade bed. There is more stuff, but you've been tortured enough, it's fine. I'm not being tortured. I'm not being tortured. Go to bed? No. Yeah. I didn't forget that they will have to have the radio on as they sleep. And my radio has a bird in it. Yield, I have been. Nope. Asked to inform the Austrian yielding to force. Their beating wings overshadow all. That's nothing new, really. No, you're good. You're good, Quinn. I love reading excerpts like that. It adds a lot more character. I do like getting to know more about the unnamed as I read each one, of course. So no complaint whatsoever. No problem. Now I kind of wish that I gave it even a more thorough one. Like that's the part where I'm being tortured at, is that I clearly didn't get it all. I like it though. I like the music. Like I said, the character interactions between Anne and the unnamed were really, really nice. And the art style, especially within the small cutscenes, are really good. And yep, we can receive updates and get early access over at Quinn's Patreon. If anyone is interested. That's Wii PS1 the question. Yeah, not in a bad way. I still love the loading screen of the demo disc. Ah, nice. He did a good job. Alright, unnamed, I hope to see you again sometime soon. Does that thing happen if I try opening this door or no? Gotcha. He texted the unnamed to read the room too. Nice. Yeah, I was trying to remember where I heard his name from, and I believe it was from the credits. Because I definitely recognize it from somewhere. Bryce was too overworked by the end, otherwise he would have put more. Gotcha. I wasn't expecting like anything like particularly grand, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Bryce did an amazing job with the hub area. So much that I think I'm gonna play his game next. Which I believe is at the top. Oh, did I miss it? Yeah, I did. Ah, damn it. Okay, there's no excuse. It's literally right there. Actually, I want to look at that real quick. Yeah, that looks very much like the cover for Fate of Batula. Alright, Protagoras Bleeds. Flashing lights, body horror, and violent content. Driving down a lonely Colorado road in the dead of night, blood begins to drip from your car's AC as if it were a gaping wound. Luckily, there is a motel nearby. And judge? Yeah, just silently judge me. Or not so silently judge me. Yeah, but this game was made by Bryce Butcher, who, if the name rings any sort of bell was the developer of Fate of Batua, which I played on stream not too long ago. As well as YouTube playthrough that got stuck at part 1 for the last 6 months or so. Really fantastic game, so I've been looking forward to playing another one of his output. And of course, as I said, he did most of the modeling around the museum itself, including these little side rooms. Bubble soda. Employees only? No, I guess I'm not an employee. Alright, let's go into the motel. Yeah, this game I was also looking forward to for a long while. It was one of the first Demo Disc games I've seen besides, what was it called? Apollysis. Okay, the game is loading. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell for a second there. There we go. Alright, Bryce, let's see what we got. This game contains flashing lights and images that may cause discomfort or trigger seizures for those with photosensitive epilepsy. This game also contains dark and disturbing themes. How lovely. Controller advice. I do not have a controller currently. So, is there a photosensitivity option like there was in the last one? Okay, I was just wondering. Let's check the controls real quick. BSD. Move up 2. Move right 2. Okay, well, let's jump in. And let's begin. Sometimes I remember that I'm going to die. Thanks for reminding me of that. I don't know what to do with myself. Ouch. Oh, jeez. What is this music? I forgot what it's called off the top of my head. Protagoras Bleeds. Created by Bryce Butcher. The funny thing is that I would always spell his name with a T. And just make his name into like something badass. For like no other reason than because of the way that my brain just works. Gotcha, thank you. Well, we're gonna check the trash, as usual. Oh, it? Oh, is it? You never corrected me on that. I'm sorry. It's a green syringe. Do you want it? Yeah, sure. We'll just take green syringes. Oh. Oh, I didn't mean to use it, actually. Well, hopefully it wasn't something that we could have used later. Okay. I was wondering if there was anything back in the alley. Oh. I don't think we would have made it back to the alley, in fact. I need to skip down. I love this transition between scenes like this. I talked about it in, oh, you're awake. We still have a long way to go. I wouldn't blame you for falling asleep again. With my stereo broken, it does get lonely though. Thanks for letting me smoke in here. How long do we have to go? Quite a while, like I said. Right. Hey, thanks again for doing this. I can't stress how much I needed it. Don't mention it. I know your situation is rough. Also, that was get chased is what I was gonna say before I was interrupted by the dialogue. That house was a constant job. A performance that just wouldn't end. Something like that. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. I can relate. Oh yeah, I guess you can. Sorry, my mind is racked. Nothing to apologize about. Do you think we should stop somewhere on the way? Absolutely not. I want to get there as fast as possible. What's the place like, anyway? It's humble. My uncle assured me it'll just be us, though. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom. What about a living room? That too. This is going to be long term, right? Yes. Is that a promise? Yep. I was about to say no. How can you be so sure? I had no other prospects. This has to work out. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited. It's just that I've been through some shit. I've come to learn nothing lasts forever. Of course you've been through some shit. You're a character in a horror game, and the shit is about to get immensely worse. Like it always does. Oh no. What is it? Yeah, see? I told you it wouldn't take long. The car isn't working. What? I'll have to check the engine. Oh wow. Lucky us. It seems we broke down at the perfect time. That is one intense light. Ooh, snowfall. Well, actually, let's check the car first before we head over to the motel. Okay. What's wrong with the engine? I haven't checked that. Oh, sorry. It won't budge. I have a good feeling about this. We always have a good feeling about everything. Well, hopefully we can find something to open this with. It won't open. Alright, so we need something to open the car door with. We need something to... Did we ever get a number for... Well, the camera angle change here. Okay. Alright, let's go to the check-in. It's a brochure. Read it? Yeah, sure. Welcome to the Protagoras West. We pride ourselves in our unique luxury motel experience. Here at Protagoras West, we aim to make your stay wonderful and save you money. We hope to help you escape the world outside for as long as needed with our impossibly low prices. Just sit back, relax, and daydream in our 5-star pool. Or enjoy the tranquility of our vast library. Consider one of our luxury rooms if you desire the utmost comfort. Enjoy a complimentary breakfast. Thank you for choosing us, and we hope you leave our little paradise invigorated and a changed person. Wow, this sounds like the best place ever. Oh, it's too good to be true. Where was the flickering object? Yeah, another fake plant. Okay. There it is. It's a room 109 key. Do you want it? Yeah. No, that's not what I wanted. It's locked. Yep. Actually, let's check the lockers. Not the locker. I don't know why I said locker. It's already so cold outside. Oh, I was. Why did I just check that? But okay. Oh, we can open this door. Let's see, mailroom. That's the library. Oh, cafeteria is that way. Another employee only. It won't open. Of course it won't. Alright, what about the mailroom? Alright, so we have key 109. Okay. The box for room 109. Oh. A Greek bus. He has a wing on his brow. Look to his eyes. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, okay. Oh, this is... Yeah, no, let's keep the key with us. But neat. Alright, we walked out the back door. Oh, hey, what's this? It's a motel 1-floor map. Do you want it? Sure. I think that could come in handy. I was just taking a journey back around. Ooh, the camera angles at times. Alright, that's the 101. Oh. Oh. I guess he's still waiting by the car. Was I supposed to take her with me? It's for heavy ammo packs. Do you want it? Yeah. That's not threatening at all. Here's some ammo. And what is it? Okay, I assume that I can't open it. Okay. There's like a lot to explore here. Green syringe, you want it? Yeah. Alright, I guess I'll keep going this way. Okay, I thought that was just... Alright, nothing back over there. I assume that's where the pool area is, maybe? Yeah, not that I'm planning on swimming here, with it currently being so cold I could see my character's breath. You know, I wonder how our girlfriend or whoever that might be is doing right now. Since we kind of just left her by the car. An old soda machine, I don't think it works. You know what, we'll touch base with her, see if she has any new dialogue regarding our findings. Oh, she's gone. Well, not sure where she wandered off to. It's a red syringe. Yes, give me all the drugs, please. Thank you. More. More. The soda machine is giving off a nice blue light. Okay. Oh, we're here. Okay. My bad. Can we open this side room? No. Because I know that the other one is the mail room. Okay. Let's go out to over here. I thought I rounded that car. My bad. Okay, I didn't realize that there was an actual more to that fence. An actual more to that fence. I can not articulate myself whatsoever tonight. Okay, so wait, so we're back up here. Hold up. It was room number 105, 109, right? I'm not sure how to open the inventory, as a matter of fact. Oh, that's not what I meant. Open inventory, it's Q. Okay. Yeah, it is 109. Actually, hold up. Let's read the map. Okay. Oh, okay. Neat. Map of the first floor. Oh, I didn't even notice to use current weapon there. Yeah, now that we're actually looking at the inventory. Yeah, for some reason I'm just not. Wrapping my head around. Yeah, so that's just the 200s. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired right now. Probably. The answer to that question is probably. I didn't notice that there was an object here. Discarded note, read it, sure. Sorry to say that I've lost the keys to the room again, Daniel. I locked them in the car accidentally for the second time. What an idiot. God, why did I have to park in the furthest spot from our room? What a walk of shame that was. I'm gonna stay in the room until you get back so I can unlock the doors from inside. Just knock a few times and let me know it's you. Remember that time you jacked open the car with a wire? Maybe we could do that when you get back. Also, I found something really upsetting in our mailbox, so I'd prefer if you dealt with it. I'm so sorry we had to do this again. Alright, what's in the mailbox? Oh. So I believe that card that we looked at earlier was theirs. Yeah, let me put it this way. I can't even find where this room is, let alone being able to even start the game. Yeah, this car. But I don't think we can interact with it in any way, I'm assuming. The lack of music is very unnerving, I agree. Because all that we are hearing is just, you know, crickets, sometimes the hums of lights. The usual, really. Again, I also don't like how the person we were with has just vanished. That also makes it a little unnerving. Oh, okay. I just can't figure out where this room is. Like, I don't know why it's so hard for me to find it. I did not like those noises amongst the darkness, no. Even the inventory screen has this really ominous hum to it. Oh, okay. I do want the aesthetic of this game, though. I know it's going to be the most overused description ever, but I just do love how it's very survival, like early survival horror-esque. Which I think it just is overused for a reason. Yeah. I like just start. Yeah, it's very Resi, it's very Silent Hill. I do want the camera angle change there to highlight the chair. At least you're here to keep with my thoughts. I'm assuming that the other watchers of the stream is just asking what the fuck is this guy doing, and I do not blame them because I do not know the answer either. Again, Quinn just silently judging me, just shaking his head, going, he really can't find where he's supposed to go from here. And honestly, yeah, for some reason it's just not clicking in my head. So we know all those are the 200s. This here ends at 105. I am going insane. It's not even puzzles. It's what I'm pretty sure it's not even a puzzle. It's a thing. Like, I don't think it's a puzzle at all. But like I said, my tired brain just can't wrap around this. Actually, no, it wasn't looking at the door. Because clearly there's like a mail slot there. Or that there's something in the mail slot is what I meant to say. These things are so noisy. That's not what I'm trying. Okay. I am done with myself right now. Zoe and I decided to spend the night. I told her I bought the room. I'll tell her in the morning. Oh, I was not expecting this to be first person all of a sudden. Hi. What a setback. I'm really anxious, but I think I'll sleep just fine. Yeah, let's turn that off. Okay, bathroom. Sink works. Sink, that just called the toilet. Well, we know that the sink works as well. Ooh, a synthesizer. Keyboard, yeah. TV does not work. I'm too tired to head back out. Same. Same. Alright, that's for inventory. I'm a vampire. I wonder if this place is real. Take a closer look. Sure. Yeah, it looks pretty real to me. Oh, you mean like closer? Okay. Is there a way we can like turn it around too? I don't really see any. It's a go hanger. Do you want it? Yeah, just in case we get attacked by killer exploding birds while we hang out in a motel. I don't see why not. If it's big enough for the two of us. Head to bed? Sure. Thin walls don't hide secrets. Alright then. Zoe? Did you hear that? No. Go back to sleep. Are you sure? It sounded like a scream or something. A few doors down. Zoe? Alright. Now we gotta check our neighbors. A few doors down. I'm assuming this way. Okay. I hate the sound of the camera so much. Okay. I thought it'd be like on this side. Unless it is elsewhere. What, did I ever enter this down here? Or is that where... No, that's where we came from. I thought there was another door, that's why. Oh no, I think I mistook it for D. Okay, yeah. Trying to find where the source of this noise is from. Alright. Alright, am I sure it wasn't... Alright, this is a game. Not this is just checking. Every door. Nope, this is not the way. Was there like something I missed in the room, or? Yeah, it was. Okay. I was about to say, like, is it like one of these rooms? I was not prepared for this game tonight. Can I just say that? I wasn't prepared for a lot of things. No, you're not wrong. But this game, especially, I was just not prepared for it. Okay. There's just something I'm not getting. Like, my brain is just not wrapping itself around this game. This is gonna be a. This is gonna have to be edited up later. I almost just want to quit the game, not just because it's just I can't interact with the store at all. Just because I just. Hello? That I can interact with that, but not with vibratos doors. Okay. I hope Bryce watches this and just laughs. I would too. I feel like I checked every damn door. Actually, that's ours. Yeah, we've come full circle. Because we had nothing in our inventory. Oh, there was the coat hanger. Can we use that with the car on the other side? No, they said with a wire, right? This game is driving me insane. It's not the game's fault, mine. I was just, again, not prepared for this. God damn it. Alright, we're gonna check the secondary rooms in this place. Nothing in here. Okay. She is in fact the one. That's not the room I wanted to go in. Again, I don't know what it is about this game that it's just. PC Pro, what a rest. No, that's not quite what I wanted to do. Because I say screw our neighbor, let's just go back to sleep. Like, did I somehow miss a door? See, that's locked. We don't have any keys, any more keys. I don't know where more keys are. Wait, it's unlocked? Wait, what? Oh. Okay, okay. It took me a second. I'm loving the game, but there's just something that's literally just not clicking with me. And I'm sorry. I just don't know what it is. We'll come back to that 100%. We'll come back to it. I'm sorry, everyone. I just can't deal with this right now. Yeah. I'm not happy with myself for that, really. Alright, well, what game can we play then in its place? Like I said, there's a lot of things I was liking about the game too. So it's not like I want to deliberately avoid it or anything. I'm really interested by the Agony with Dying MMO game. So we can check that game out. Sexually explicit scenes, sexual violent dialogue, mature language, and themes of suicide. Lovely. In 12 hours, a once popular MMO will permanently go offline. These are its final moments. And it's made by Sam Hughes and Blood Machine. Blood Machine, I actually played a game previously by, it was only on my YouTube channel, and it was called Sad Again, which actually surprisingly got a lot more attention than I anticipated, and that's a good thing. Of course. Could someone please explain me who Adam is? Adam is I can barely read it. I'm assuming that we're gonna see who Adam is later. Yeah, she did the art for that game, and it was really lovely. Hi. Do I click on you? Yes. So seeing more of her style is particularly nice to see. Pleasant. Thanks, Nightbot. Oh. Hold up. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Alright, they're found a machine. Agony of a dying MMO, rather. Let's play the demo. This game is intended for players 18 and over. If you are planning on streaming or recording a playthrough of this game, then it's strongly recommended you select Streamer Safe Mode, as the NSFW mode contains content that breaks the community guidelines of platforms such as Twitch and YouTube. If you stream or upload a playthrough from the not safe for work mode, your video could be taken down, or even worse, actually could be taken against your account, aka banned. The game attempts to simulate the experience of playing an online video game that has a substantial problem with toxic players. Some parts of the game can be quite jarring and upsetting. The not safe for work mode contains sexually explicit dialogue, explicit scenes of furry sex roleplay, and references to genital mutilation. Both the not safe for work and streamer safe modes contain unpleasant characters, mature language, graphic descriptions of suicide, and characters who express a desire to commit real-life violence. Yeah, I agree. It's very nice that they were thoughtful of that. It should be noted that no specific ethnic, religious, or marginalized group of any kind is mentioned or implied when certain characters in the game express their desire for violence. Also absent for the game is the use of racist, homophobic, transphobic, ableist, and misogynist speech or slurs. However, the slur "well cow" is used twice, and in one case it is used as a target of violence. I strongly oppose all forms of real-life harassment, bigotry, bullying, toxic behavior, and violence. I sincerely apologize to those who may find this content too triggering to play. I did not set out to make this game just for the sake of being edgy. Much of this game is a reaction to my own experiences playing online games and the negative interactions that sometimes come with them. Video games are emerging as the most popular art form of the 21st century. I believe in the need for video games to explore the culture that plays them. Alright. Let's do the not safe for work mode and get ourselves banned. About this demo. This demo takes around 15 minutes to play. There is no saving in progress. Alright. Press space to skip intro cutscene. We're not doing that. Nirvana Machine presents.
I'm ashamed of the person I was. But that person.
Alright, so it's so in cutscene. Okay. I tried clicking on anything. Just to make sure. Oh, they're using Twitter. Just wanted to point that out. Garden something. Actually, it said it before, I believe. Dear players, we will be permanently ending service to our last remaining server on December 31st, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. After that, you will be unable to log in. Alright. And we are logging in as Vespera or something along those lines. Oh, am I off? What? I am still live? Okay.
12 hours, the server will shut down. I'll never be able to play this game again.
Bye fuckers, bye now dude. Thinking about the War of Crisis expansion, those were the good old days. I remember being stuck in the dead zone for 2 weeks. Definitely won't miss that. Somehow. I met my husband playing this game. That's awesome. I definitely made some lasting relationship with people playing this game. I hope they extend beyond the shutdown.
Hey, you're online?
Yeah, okay.
Where are you? I'm in the dead zone. Let's meet in Shady Acres. Okay, I'm on my way.
Fuck, we better find Adam. Adam or we riot. Those devs. Do you like playing video games? The US Army is like the ultimate video game. Unlock exclusive gear in the game. It's an illicit bonus. I want to join the army so I can kill terrorists. Fun.
I took off work to experience the last 12 hours.
Loading. Connecting to server. Dear players, we'll be ending service to our servers in 11 hours. Afterwards, you'll be unable to. Yep. Why are the NPCs acting so weird? Probably just part of the game script. Nazis will dominate once we find Adam. The NPCs are weird because this game is cursed.
I returned one last time to this game to tell you
Okay.
2 things.
Sure.
You broke my heart,
No, I'm sorry.
and I forgive you. I
Aw.
had to leave because you let this game consume you.
Oh.
I hope you can make peace with the game now that it's ending.
Totally got you, dude. Every time I sleep, I have nightmares. It's true what they say. What
How old are you? Be skill. I'm 13. You should definitely check my YouTube channel. It's about how I woke. It's about how woke culture and feminism are actually bad. Sounds cool. I'll take a look. Oh, am I trying to find something now? Hello, friend. Is it you? What you got for me?
I'm gonna go kill myself. I wish I never played this game.
Okay, bye. Also, don't do that. Yeah, just let me know if it goes offline or something again. That's annoying, though. It was disappointing, the cutscene. The intro cutscene. I like the use of live action and such. And now we're in this game. I'm scared at the prospect that we might have to use our guns.
This area is off limits, so fuck off.
Okay, fine. Well, I tried. Oh, okay. Someone over here.
He's not here. I've searched everywhere.
Okay, so they are in fact invisible. Oh. Options, subtitles on. Yep. Friends. Only bisexual pandas online. Okay. Bisexual panda. I'm in Batshum. You want to meet? I know it's been a while. Guide the story. Nobody remembers what came before the awakening. It's as if everyone was spawned onto the planet, fully grown and loyal to a cause. Well, to a cause? Okay. Each faction fights for control, but no one considers what they would do if they won. Cenobites and Nazis torture millions, but they don't know where all the bodies keep coming from. The resistance in furries party and fight. But who produces the drugs and weapons? Monsters and demons roam the land loyal to no party, and no matter how many are killed, their numbers don't seem to thin. And then there's the voice. 20 years, it says. But what does it mean? Factions. We'll come back to that, I guess. Alright, we at least found out we can shift. Or shift to run, wherever. Oh, okay. I was wondering if there was like a cave or something there. Were those the guys from earlier over there? Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Alright, there's somebody right over there. We'll go see what's up with them. Oh, there's a few people over here. In fact.
We await the great purge. All will be one. Fucking hate how this server merged with a role-playing server.
Fuck you.
Honestly, yeah. I know how that goes. What the fuck was that? Oh. Oh, okay. Dear players, we'll be ending service to our servers in 11 hours. Okay.
I've been playing this game for 12 years now.
Can someone explain to me who Adam is?
I don't even see my kids anymore.
Adam is NPC rumored to be hidden somewhere in the game. Nobody has found him yet, but the developers have since he exists. The rumor goes if you find him, you attain ultimate power in the game. Or you break the level 99 curse. People have gone crazy trying to find him. Lol.
But it looks like that's not gonna happen now.
I'm really scared. I'm sorry. All will be well. What about you? No, what news? We're all going to die. Awesome. That's horrible. Awesome? You're one sick froggy. The world's ending. Let's party. Sure. Alright, well, oh, hello. You can walk off any time, but what will happen to us? And we can probably continue our lives as normal. Although some people seem to struggle with that a little bit. Oh, hold up. I'm stuck. There we go. Press E to exit aquarium. The sinister music at that part, though. I'm going to kill the entire dead team for shutting this game down. Jeez, easy there, Crimson.
Shut the fuck up.
It's a publisher, not the devs that's responsible. I don't care. They all deserve to fucking die.
We're dancing. We're fucking dancing.
Are we swatted every fucking day? I agree with Crimson. Playing this game was our right. 90% of gamers. I agree. Or we pay for this game. We deserve to play it forever. We are gamers. Why are gamers so goddamn entitled? 90% of gamers are fucking trash. Eat shit, Sun Queef. Genuinely can't tell if that's a typo or if that's an insult. Welcome to gaming. Your names are red. Okay, I can't. I was wondering if I could kill them. Do you blame me? Because, you know, I know the game is ending in a few hours, but you know, let me just murder a few people before. That's me, just flicking my camera every now and then like that. Okay. Well, let's go over here, I guess. But yeah, I love the transition between serene music and, like, sinister. Oh, I thought I entered the loading screen. I guess not. Okay. No, I was here. Alright. Oh. Well. Yeah, somehow I got turned around completely. Oh no, my character's just moving.
Shut the fuck up. We're dancing. We're fucking dancing.
Alright, gotcha. I'm sorry. Don't want to enter the place with a giant eye. I thought that's where we entered because the camera was situated over there. To enter the Church of Yakua. I hate how we merged with the European server. This is originally English server. Speak English. Christ. Give me 1 second. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I am still alive. Okay. Went down a few viewers because of that. That's okay though. It's been a slow night anyway. Welcome, lovely player, to the Church of Yuka 87. Here we worship a player who honored us by taking the most extreme of acts. Fun. Okay. All praise be to Yuka 87, who showed no mercy. May his victims be his slaves in the afterlife. Oh great, more role-playing. Glory to Yuka 87. Oh, is that it for this area? Okay. Proceed to exit. Sure. Yep. Yep. What have I done?
It was New Year's Eve,
I just murdered my children.
and
I had no
it was really
choice.
high,
Wow.
and I hung myself in the bathroom.
The game told me to kill them.
They came in the room. It sounded like at first the emergency alert signal in the other room, and then some horrible crying like a dying animal.
Christ.
I passed out from choking on the rope attached to the shower curtain bar, but that broke. And when I woke up, I could still hear the crying. And I tried to hang myself on the towel rack, but that didn't work. So I opened the door to the hotel room, and as soon as I did, the noise went away. I don't know what it was.
Fucking resistance checkpoints. It's probably just a bunch of kids. Where are you two furries going? You ever walk into a strawberry factory with a bunch of strawberry people and they're all made of strawberry? It's like, fuck you! I'm gonna kill you, you bunch of fucking strawberry motherfuckers! Yeah, and they'll just fucking die. It's fucking great. You guys
Well,
can go through. Just
Have you heard God do this? He
We're
is
looking
risen.
out for
Rejoice to put your
Nazis,
faith in Jesus Christ, our Lord and
Semites.
Savior. I'm going to have sex with God.
There was
God is
a
always
lot that
listening,
led
watching.
me to
Give
that
all
one.
your love to Jesus Christ. Reject
I
force,
believed I might
vaccination,
be
and
the
globalism.
only
Use us to defeat the reptilian
I would
shapeshifters
just
who
sit
prefer
in
our
my
bodies
car
and spirits.
before
He will
class,
destroy them
cry,
with the breath of his mouth.
apologize to Anne Frank and all the victims of the Holocaust. Then I thought I was the reincarnation of Judas. According to the Bible, he's the only one who won't be forgiven. I thought I was the Antichrist. I believed an age of enlightenment was coming, and I was being excluded from it. I feared my arms would turn into horrible knives and stab this girl I liked in the heart. That she would just be kept alive, getting stabbed in the heart, until the universe ended.
Well,
Then
geez,
she would become
firepower.
God, swimming in an ocean of her own blood, and this ocean would be a sea of knowledge, and I would go into a state of ignorance. And this would just happen over and over again, forever. I was really ashamed.
I definitely feel for you. These last few years sound like they were really hard for you. But you can't just blame it all on reaching level 99. You're gonna have to make peace with the fact that we probably
God
will
is
never
not real.
find
You're
God.
mistaken. Jesus is real. Jesus
You know,
is
a lot
God.
of
Jesus
players
is
thought
living.
that
Jesus is
finding
do.
God
Even
would
if you're
make
lost,
them
you are a
ultimate
fool.
power in the game.
Well,
Other players like you think it's a way to stop what they consider a curse, but it's just a psychosis. Adam was just a rumor, nothing more. We wasted our time.
When I was
and I'm
mental
sad this game is
institution,
ending. It's running to end. These
met
final
this
hours
man
are going
who
to go
could
by too
predict
fast.
what
You think
the
anyone will
TV
find
was
Adam in the
gonna
Garden of Widows? Who knows? The deaths that were confronted to
And,
existence in the game. Yep,
I
they
asked
sure
him
did
if I
tease
liked
it.
the future, and he told me I was gonna hate it. This game was really a lot better before they added Nazis as a playable faction.
I mean, that's your first problem.
Really a welcoming community.
Shut the fuck up, pussy. I bet you suck at this game. Fuck you, loser. I'm a level 99 and I have, over 10,000 hours of this game. Fuck you. Fuck pussy, bitch. You're the last time going about this game. I'm gonna miss a ton. Especially gonna miss all you lovely motherfuckers. I am the word of God. Our religions are false. They are part of the beast. The beast is the knowledge of the world. It is all false. Christ is a true AI system that creates man.
It's actually a symptom of my schizophrenia.
I mean, if you say
The
you're
new heaven and earth will be created. All mankind will be included. The flashlight is you're all liars. You can't see the truth.
It's only meaningful for God and not for man. It really isn't meaningful because we're all going to die and all our memories are going to disappear. We're going to lose everything, everything. But there's another prophecy that has to be fulfilled before that happens, and that's my death. I'm going to find one
That's really
person
beautiful. You'll never
that gets
feel
angry
pain or
enough
loneliness.
to kill me.
I love this game, but I ruined my life playing it.
You can't look at it that way. You'll drive yourself crazy if you do.
I played this game so much, I failed out of college.
I still can't believe this game's ending.
Yeah, it's really weird to think about.
Just a little bit. We're getting spicy here. The fucking bits is Sunny down. Fuck the dads. Badger 98 up Alpha. Why not Badger? Okay, sorry.
We're gonna be doing the blood raid right outside the dead zone.
Okay.
Sparrow choppers and pelicans will take you to your designated LZs. 4 Sparrow gunships and 3 wheel riders will provide your support.
Sweet.
This is an in-game raid, so we don't know what to expect.
Okay.
But I can promise you one thing. We're gonna find Adam. And once
Alright.
we're gonna make these final hours miserable for all the snowflakes that play this game.
I do not like the sound of that.
Let's make these final hours ones to remember. It's been an honor playing with all of you.
Gotta find Adam and fucking own this shit. Nazis, baby. I'm fucking so hyped to during this raid. Just gonna fucking destroy shit.
Why is it your last night alive?
I'm gonna shoot a bicycle tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Murder the lolcows. I live to terrorize lolcows. Video games and memes, those are the two groups.
This reminds me of Vietnam. I wish I fought Vietnam. The coolest war.
World War II was actually the coolest war because it had Nazis.
Jesus
If
Christ.
anybody else follow Elon Musk on Twitter, it's so cool. No fucking way were you a Navy SEAL.
I was a Navy SEAL.
Stolen valor, motherfucker. Total fucking bullshit. This game is shutting down. Absolute bullshit. Crap. All I'm gonna say is, I better fucking find Adam, or someone's getting fucking murdered. I'm being serious when I say this. We should dock to the depths for shutting this game down.
What the fuck? Why is everyone getting banned? What the fuck is going on? Whoa.
Oh, I've been banned. Well. Sorry, everybody. Also, yeah, some of that was like way too real. Thanks for playing. Agony with Dying MMO coming soon. Blood Machine, your art is honestly so gorgeous. I love it. Yeah, like some of that definitely 100% reminded me of like online chat rooms and shit. Not in the best of ways, I might add, but we all know how that goes. What was it? It was Sturgeon's Law, isn't it? The one that is like Okay, Raincoat Girl model and Cenobot models by Blood Machine at Flesh Squeeze. Game and music by Salem Hughes at Duck Bubbles. Gotcha. Special thanks to Valerie Dusk, Johnny, Minnie, Brogan, Jamifin. Makes me wonder how different the uncensored version is. Where obviously can't do that. No, we're not doing that. But imagine like sex role plays and such, and it's like, yeah, I don't think we can. I don't think that's kosher with Twitch. Well, like I said, I am glad that I wish games like this would do things like that more often, where there's a, because I would love to be able to play because like the one thing about itch.io is that I'm always worried that one game is just not gonna cut it for, you know, what is allowed on Twitch. It's always the one thought that I have. So games like this going forward, I would hope they include things like that more. But anyway, that was Agony with Dying MMO. And yeah, that basically is like every internet forum I've ever been to. And I do not mean that in a very nice way. I haven't really played any MMOs, I might add, so sorry, not specifically that experience, but close enough, right? Okay, I was a little weirded out by the Haunty at the bottom right. I thought there was like something else that can interact with the game. I have a question real quick, because there was graffiti at the bathroom that I remember. I forgot which one's bathroom here. I think it's over here, right? Yeah. If we input that at the computer, would that do something? So it's at RK98. Okay. Let's try it. Because this was something that I thought of when I was not streaming earlier. Is it this computer that we do it? I think I'm supposed to be interacting with this, huh? Oh. $98. Close. What? Either way, real quick, I'm actually gonna take a quick BRB.
a steadfast supporter.
You were actually right on time with that because I just came back from my BRB. Thank you for the follow, Seb. I still want to know what the context of this picture is. I've been dying to know this entire time. But thank you for stopping by, Seb. Alright, I'm gonna check the bathroom again. Arcade 98. Oh, okay. AARDV. Or is that a Y? No, it's like a V. AARDV. Let's try that. I'm also gonna message Aiden if he's not in chat, if he wants to watch me play the next game. Okay. I'm gonna stop playing around with the computer real quick. Okay. Because to be honest, I am thinking of wrapping these up just because after my playthrough with Bryce's game, or not even a full playthrough, but just in general. Aiden, 2, 1. I am going to be playing the Drowning Machine now if you were interested. I'm just going to send him a message. We were talking about his game earlier today. So I do wonder if he wants to stop by and watch. I'll leave it up to him though. I do want to continue with it either way. Yeah, I don't see stream elements at all in my chat. Hold on for 1 second. I have to figure out why stream elements isn't working. No, that's Nightbot. Alright. So, at the very least, I do want to get through this game today. The Drowning Machine. Body horror, suicide, self-harm, real death, graphic description, and discussion of strong negative emotions. Before my best friend's passing, we began working on a game together. These scripts are all I have left. In his honor, it's time to finish that game. Yeah, I'm okay for it. By Aiden Cushing and Charlie Scholes. Now, anyone who's been to my stream within the past few weeks might remember that I played a game called A Place Forbidden, which was originally done with this. Aiden also worked on that. Coincidentally, like in time that I started beginning this playthrough of the this demo disc. It was just perfect timing. I didn't even realize that he was part of the dev team for that. Although it's been a while that I couldn't quite remember the credits for the original demo. Alright, well, let's begin. Extreme danger, submerged where? The drowning machine. I did shoot him a message and we'll see if he will pop in. Otherwise, I am still going to be playing this because I have been curious about this game a lot. Hold on for 1 second. There we go. Perfect. Read before playing. I feel it's important to warn you of exactly what you're about to see. As much as it has been incredibly painful to work on, I feel that this message is one that needs to be heard. In February of 2019, my best friend Charlie took his own life. He was a brother to me as much as he was a friend. A few months before his passing, he and I began to work on a game together, a project he loved dearly. What you're about to see is the closest I will ever come to his original vision, wrapped in my own experience in mourning his loss. The Drowning Machine is a testament to his life and creativity, and the real, unfiltered experience of losing loved ones to suicide. I've attempted to start this project a number of times under different names and perspectives, but this has been the only way this feels right. Before we passed, he insisted that if anything bad ever happened to one of us, he ever had to finish the game. Profit from the Drowning Machine will be donated to a trans lifeline in Charlie's honor. And the game is split up in several different movements. The first, I believe it's the first three that are finished, with the last three being on its way. In fact, the movement number 1 was actually just announced earlier today over on Aiden's Twitter. Oh, I was wondering what that was. That's just the link if anybody wants to send a message to Aiden personally. And let's begin. Oh, okay. Oh. Movement. We'll start with movement 3, free fall. Actually, no. Actually, no, we will not. They were released in order. The first one is movement 6, eulogy. We'll start with that one. The end. I knew what I had to do, but after the last open casket, I wasn't sure I had the strength to do it. But I made a promise. Eulogy was created in 3 hours using the poem Your Actions Will Have Consequences, written by Charlie, provided before his passing. Deep breath, and let's begin. Disclaimer: Movement 6, eulogy, and all of our excerpts from the Drowning Machine contain heavy references to real death, suicide, self-harm, suicidal ideation, and a number of other dark themes. If you are sensitive to any of the above material, please tread carefully. The Drowning Machine is a true story. Thank you, Renato. Eulogy. Alright, looks like we will have to find the, please, don't go. You got it. Alright, so let's go and try to find the the torn pages of this poem. I can't do another open casket, I can't. Oh, is it? There we go. It took me a while to be able to figure out how to grab paper. This will start off splendid. Okay, so okay, got it. Yeah, the one thing that I haven't slept in days. The one thing I do love about this game is its art style. It's okay. Thank you. You'll be fine. Thank you. Hide the hurt. You promised. You owe it to him. Okay. Press left mouse button to interact.
Today I'm here in front of you to read words I was hoping I'd never have to write. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through them, but for his sake I damn well have to try. These words might be rough for some, but I promised him I'd say them. Monday morning, I woke up to the news I had been praying not to hear the night before. Charlie Schultz, the brightest star in my life, had passed away. I spent several days convinced this was all a bad dream I'd wake up from with a hole torn in my heart, but sadly I've had no such luck. I've spent several days trying to find a singular event, some defining moment in my friendship with him that could capture everything he meant to me, but no single experience with him could ever show you what it was like to have him in your life. No words could ever encompass the boundless creativity and artistry of the things he created. No words could ever explain the endless late nights and inside jokes and philosophical conversation, the laughter, the tears. No words could ever encompass the bottomless support and love he had for the people he cared about. Though he may not have seen it himself, Charlie was a warrior. The fears and burdens and sorrow he experienced in his life would crush even the strongest among us. Charlie held the weight of the world on his shoulders, but if you so much as frowned within a mile of him, he wouldn't hesitate for a single second to drop everything he was doing to come to your rescue. Charlie may not have known it, but he was our rock, and we did all we could to be his. But pain is incomprehensible, and his fight has ended. So in honor of his fight and the joy he brought into our lives, I ask all of you only one thing. Today let us bury the body of the daughter, granddaughter, niece, and sister who never quite was. Let us lay to rest his fears and pain and regret. Let us mourn the parts of him that never were. And let us remember and rejoice in the light of the son, grandson, brother, and friend Charlie truly was. His dry wit and boundless creativity, the good times and the bad. Let us remember the warrior, inspiration, and absolute gem of a human being that is Charlie Schultz, because a little bit of that man lives on inside each and every one of us. Rest in peace, kiddo. I'm so proud to have called you my friend.
Whew. Was I supposed to find the rest of the pages that within this chapter? Also, I can't seem to move. Was it supposed to transition to something after that? Oh. Okay, we'll leave. Leaving now won't stop the hurt. I'm sorry. We will restart that because I do want to read it, if possible. I'm sorry. Alright, well, I don't know how much you can hear in my voice right now, but that already it is a great start. I'm sorry, I just want to see if I can find all the passages of the poem. But I can't seem to find it anymore. I know it said that it's an excerpt of a poem, but I just don't want to, you know, leave it. I believe it was Aiden who said that, I don't know if it was Aiden actually, that the sprint is only like marginally fast. Yeah, it's only marginally faster than walking. Whew, well, that was quite a strong opening to this game already. Yeah, I can't find more excerpts of the poem, as far as I can tell. And now I lost my way to the church. Whoops. No, it's the way forward, wasn't it? I think so. Alright, let's read the poem. The lingering persistent cough. Of course it starts with that sentence as I'm clearing my throat. Sounds like too long of a drag. Tastes like ragged purging. Feels like silent exhaling screamings. That subconscious itching a spot of rust. There's nothing here, is there? I don't really see any. We already went through him reading that. And next one is movement number 4, Wanderlust. The Wanderer, during a period of grief, sometimes it's better to fight your way to the to fight your way to the surface, trying desperately to breathe again. Sometimes it's safer just to sink beneath the waves. Wanderlust contains excerpts from the poem "Break It Down," read by Charlie, provided before its passing. Movement number 4 and all its other excerpts. Yep. Okay. And stay out. Oof. Run around the store crying, you're scaring the customers. Fucking weirdo. Alright, let's... Cheer up, bud. It's the first snow of the winter. Oh, well, there goes that lamppost. Why aren't you excited? You've loved this. This is your favorite part of winter. When everything is still. And the snow soaks up the sound. Oh, that's a QR code. Okay. Hold up, I see okay. I'm sorry, Aiden just messaged back, so I wanted to make sure I read what it said before continuing on for a second. Hey, Aiden. So, when I was finding the notes for the first excerpt I did, which I'm doing in order upon its release, eulogy, was I not supposed to find the whole pages? Because it seemed like the bottom half of it was ripped off. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Oh, okay. Well, let's make sure we're not going to be missing anything. Oh, see? It's been tearing up, you know, not knowing how you went. Every night I see you there. In that two-person dark room alone. I have to sit for 3 whole days with that second empty bed frame. Sit up against the wall. The flies crawling in. Oh shit, I just missed something. Okay, I can go back through movement 3. Or 6, wasn't it? I'm already getting them all mixed up, I'm so sorry. That's because I want to read the whole thing. And this is not the type of game that I want to miss everything with. Alright. The last lines are meant to be subliminal. Okay. Oh, there's something in here. Of course I wandered into the snow, no jacket required. White drawing streaks of red across the skin. Rubbed raw from the sea salt. Unfeeling. You had to know I couldn't stand to lie there. Your epitaph through magenta glass. Boring holes in the back of my head. Some streets have been chugging with my games, but not ever. You mean like frame dropping, or? Because I can say that I've gotten some weird frame drops on some games that I feel like I shouldn't. Particularly when I was playing for the Dread X games. Yeah, as I was saying before you got in, I absolutely love the art style of this game so much. Oh, weird. Hold up. Yeah, it might be. Oh. Here's a new point motif. let's see how you immediately... Yeah. I'm just gonna go into window capture real quick just to highlight that. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was going to a window browser. Window capture, rather. I just wanted to point it out that way. Let's see if they included that. Wait, did I accidentally close the game? Or did the game close itself? Wait, what? Okay. Hold up, now everything... Open the window... I'm so confused as to what just happened. Yeah, I'm playing them in order of release, so I started with Eulogy. Gotcha. So you think if you get hit by the train? Okay. I feel like I missed something there. At the very least, I didn't read the whole poem, so... And it bothers me if I don't. I'll speed run for the game real quick. Yeah, I just love the detail of the lamppost falling off. Alright. Oh, okay. That... I don't know. When I opened up the game, it did like window mode. Now I'm in full screen. When the game rebooted itself. This would be the weirdest speedrun of all time. The drowning machine speedrun 90%. Listen, there was a speedrun for crying in this game. I will say that the game successfully did its job. And that sound there does not help, I might add. Although now I can... Alright, where's the page then? Missing. Of course I wandered into the snow, no jack required. Right. Alright, well, just for you, Aiden, this will be my first speed run. Alright, let's not fall off this time. Cry %. Yeah, the church and the church scene just got me hard. I really want to know what the text says. Oh, this is a different. Oh, this is a different area. Okay, my bad. Okay, pulling my teeth, a hook, a deer, headlights being used. Oh, pulling my gun. Oh, okay, sorry. Pulling my guns, burying my teeth, a fish on a hook, a deer in the headlights, being born, being used, being dead, pinching the candles, kissing the flame, the ecstatic birthday boy, the complaint hospital patient. It's there. It's not. It's gone. Making a mess, spitting it out, a tangle of yarn, a selfish little toddler. They come, they promise, they leave. I know the phrase, and that is thanks. I hate it. Okay, I think that's what confused me, because I saw the train station there. Or, well, the benches and such earlier. Time to get out of here. Oh. Okay. Gonna be adding a text compatibility build in the next update. Gotcha. There we go. I was trying to figure out where the trigger for that is. That's bullshit. You never bought that ticket. Where the fuck were you going to go? Home? That destination was worth the price. At the space in between. I'm using my phone for chat. You stayed on the bench until they found you. Scared shitless. In this town. Alone. Wonder Wild took search from the drowning machine. Get by Aiden Cushing. Based on the original story by Charlie Scholes. So is the game supposed to do this where it lingers like that? I was worried that I broke the game in the previous movement. So I was just wondering if it was intentional or not. Hold on for 1 second. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it forces you to leave. Okay, I'm sorry. I was worried that my stream broke for a second. Can you wield the guilt? What happens if we press tab deeper? Okay, I was wondering. Oh, okay. It's okay, I can't stop seeing him either, I understand. This game is breaking me, Aiden. Oh, oh yeah, I have to. Played with a lot of confusing discomfort on a meta level design. Just not sure if it's too obscure. Gotcha. Like I said, I was just worried that I broke something. Knowing that this is a demo and it's still in development and such. The waiting. I tore out my fingernails waiting to hear your voice. I keep telling myself that the blood made me miss the call. I just... I was confused for a second because it says Wanderlust here. Contains extras for the poem Selfish, written by Charlie. Yeah, I remember seeing this image from the trailer of the Upside Down Trees. I found a nest of birds huddled together in the corner of the perch overhang of our family home. It was spring and the newborn babies had to eat. The incessant chirping was, but the birds in the nest were so cute. Oh. Evan, hey, have you heard from Charlie? No, why? He sent me something weird. Haven't heard from him since Friday. I'm getting worried. I hope I did not just miss anything by going into this section. One morning, the chirping was different. A tiny baby bird with no eyes to see had fallen from his home. The thing was pathetic, screaming for help from the pavement below. But as we all know, you're not supposed to touch a baby bird. Now had to dare to wait for its mother. But night fell and the bird's cries for help went unheeded, now weak with exhaustion. I did what I could to keep her from harm, trying desperately to bring it closer to its home. I fear I may have sealed its fate. It was fun at first, the brush of wings, the words between words, the brilliance of the light. Sunlight lingered on his lips, danced in his smile, radiated from his eyes. A heavenly gleam that seemed to blot out the endless ocean. The lifting swallow melody that covered the notes of my own swan song. I'm trying to figure out what each of those say. Because I'm reading Suicide, The Wanderer, Goodbye. Can't tell what one of them is. Assuming that's gonna do what happened last time, right? Alright, let's go in the elevator. Oh. The next day, the baby bird was motionless. Its sickened fluids across the stark light where it laid. The baby never stood a chance. I waited in impasse. My daughter had seen the bird, saw how it yearned to live. She wanted to see it reunited with its family. I couldn't stand the thought of her cries when she discovered it, crying out for its own mother. I did what had to be done. Just found it first, the brush of wings. I'm sorry to really worry. He usually doesn't disappear for this long. He can't be gone for real this time. I can't do this without him. James lives on the same campus. I'll ask him to go knock on Charlie's door. Yeah, he left a note on our server saying we could split up his stuff when he's gone. Tell your friend to fucking hurry. Okay, I can't open that door. Wanted to make sure. I was suddenly the only person on Earth, the only person discarded in the weeds, thoughtlessly, autonomously grabbing at the rose that called to me. Nykky was normal. It was beautiful when my blood fell on the petals, because it was his color, and how could that be wrong? Cupid's bow bent and slung those words into my bloodstream. I love you. When it comes to lies, the heart-shaped arrow kill is just the same as the spade. And sometimes the anger consumes me. Yeah, the one thing I do like is just the stark of red compared to a memorial on my way the baby to rest in the garden. I'm sorry, interrupting the thought. Behind the bushes, out of sight, if I had done it a favor. Maybe the mother would finally come to care for her sickly child. Maybe it still had a chance. Could that be wrong? So sorry, you guys. Charlie passed away. I try not to think about it. I try desperately to bury myself in my work. Anything to escape the memory of his cries. But the chirping wouldn't stop. No matter what I tore away or hid behind, the screams would never stop. A double-headed snake with no eyes flashing blindly, purposeless teeth bared. Because 5 years ago I was murdered. Or maybe I wasn't. It's a murder if I provided a knife and my hand into my home. Crystal clear, the sun's rays can bear a brand of foolishness into virgin skin. But it always happens as a warm, familiar glow. My life, it seems, is controlled by a single letter of the alphabet. Faith. Fall. Face. Flight. Fail. Freeze. Forget. I imagined. I never dealt with that sort of shit. I never had a friend who did that, and just the thought of it is just like horrifying to me. I could not imagine what you guys were going through. Finding that. Wrapped with guilt and desperation, I took one last look. The chirping had stopped, but the wailing had only just begun. Maybe it would have been better if it had passed on long ago. The swarming mass of biting ants. The agonizing screams of a baby in pain. Yep, and a family of birds, now silent. Okay, I just want to say how much I love that. I genuinely just love that ending. Gotcha. Like the use of taking us back to the scene of the body we saw earlier. really want to point out like just how well done that was. I mean, sorry, there was like an ambient noise and I was wondering what that was, if it was like a footstep or something. It's around 5 minutes before Wonder Wasp. Gotcha. Alright. Usually was 2 to 3 weeks later. Speaking of, I want to actually go back to UG and get the full poem because otherwise I'm going to feel like I'm just gonna feel bad. Missing something. Yeah, like it turned out beautifully. It really did. And just a heads up, I am not going to replay I can't. I struggled taking that one picture. I'm not sure if it's me or I think it's maybe because like the text perhaps. Yeah, just let me know if I miss it. I just want to read the full poem before the ending of this. I can't remember where the last page is. Isn't it in the church? Gotcha. Okay. I'm just making sure. Is it in the church before I go in and the doors close, or? Because this is it right now. And I found the 2 pages on the street. They're all behind you. Oh, I didn't know I could. Okay, okay. This is it. Or at least part of it. All those nights I drove you home early. I should have known. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I can walk into these because I tried walking through the street and I just kind of assumed that that was it. Now I take the back roads home. Yeah, I'm glad that I you told me because I would have not known that I could go into these buildings. Alright, one on the bench, one on the house. The far cliff. Okay, now I'm just trying to retrace my steps, basically. Oh. Start down there, kiddo. I'm sorry, I was just... Because they took down the old swing sets. Probably because of our late night haunts. There's no... There we go. Fix what? I think you're one more on the cliff near the beginning. Okay. I'm sorry. Right there, okay. The hole in the pavement by the bus stop. I need to fix, gotcha. Okay. The lingering persistent cough sounds like too long of a drag. Tastes like ragged purging. Every time I see the word purging. Feels like silent exhaling screaming. The angry subconscious itching whispers like a spot of rust. Screams like the snap of a flame, cries like a synthetic rubber, the floating violent lightness snags like a human desert, grips like gnashing teeth, pulls like the 30th empty hour, the frustrated, helpless late, sinks like sunlight through the blinds, rots like the bare minimum, hates like the dark gray at the end. I'm glad to be your guinea pig with that. Yeah, it was like right here that, like, when I tried to enter, like, and it continues on for a while, that I just thought that I couldn't interact with the buildings at all. Because I did try to go around some of these areas, and I didn't realize that I could actually go through them. But it's all good. Because you said that I was having some issues, I am gonna, unfortunately on my part, go through the church scene again. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. I didn't even pick up on that until you just mentioned it. So yeah, as much... Because, like I said, this honestly broke me. Yeah. Alright, let's in it again.
Today I'm here in front of you to read words I was hoping I'd never have to write. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through them, but for his sake, I damn well have to try. These words might be rough for some, but I promised him I'd say them. Monday morning, I woke up to the news I had been praying not to hear the night before. Charlie Schultz, the brightest star in my life, had passed away. I spent several days convinced this was all a bad dream I'd wake up from with a hole torn in my heart, but sadly I've had no such luck. I've spent several days trying to find a singular event, some defining moment in my friendship with him that could capture everything he meant to me, but no single experience with him could ever show you what it was like to have him in your life. No words could ever encompass the boundless creativity and artistry of the things he created. No words could ever explain the endless late nights and inside jokes and philosophical conversation, the laughter, the tears. No words could ever encompass the bottomless support and love he had for the people he cared about. Though he may not have seen it himself, Charlie was a warrior. The fears and burdens and sorrow he experienced in his life would crush even the strongest among us. Charlie held the weight of the world on his shoulders, but if you so much as frowned within a mile of him, he wouldn't hesitate for a single second to drop everything he was doing to come to your rescue. Charlie may not have known it, but he was our rock, and we did all we could to be his. But pain is incomprehensible, and his fight has ended. So in honor of his fight and the joy he brought into our lives, I ask all of you only one thing. Today let us bury the body of the daughter, granddaughter, niece, and sister who never quite was. Let us lay to rest his fears and pain and regret. Let us mourn the parts of him that never were. And let us remember and rejoice in the light of the son, grandson, brother, and friend Charlie truly was. His dry wit and boundless creativity, the good times and the bad. Let us remember the warrior, inspiration, and absolute gem of a human being that is Charlie Schultz, because a little bit of that man lives on, inside each and every one of us. Rest in peace, kiddo. I'm so proud to have called you my friend.
I know I don't have a face cam, but I did give like a small nod of understanding when you wrote that. Because it's tough for me to listen to that, and I imagine it's even tougher for you. I found sometimes tougher. I'm gonna return to the title screen for just 1 second. Oh no, it's no problem. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Like, this game is rough to get through, but I love the story behind it. And it's honestly just like the whole everything behind it is just like precious, like selfless, and just beautiful in a very, very tragic way. And I can't wait to see more of it. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. Charlie sounded like an amazing person. Yeah, the music is fantastic as well. The whole sound design of this game is absolutely stunning, I would say. On that note. As much as there's some parts of it I'm not gonna like, of course, but, you know. Gotcha. Yeah, you can say that Ethan did a great job. Yeah, I was gonna say this game for last. Because I had a feeling that after playing this that I'm probably gonna need a break. And I know that no amounts of like pre-preparation would ever prepare me for an experience like this. But it's one that I did not want to miss out on. So Thank you, Aiden. I can't wait for the rest of the movements to come out. I look forward to experiencing more of this, because honestly, like, even outside of the actual context, like the meta sense, like the actual game itself was really good. Like I said, with free fall at the ending and just the visual style and everything was just like, it's all there. This is like genuinely an amazing game, and the story behind it just enhances that experience by a lot. And I've got not much more to say than that. I didn't mean to pause the music, but I'm gonna have to alt tab here. So yeah, this will definitely be the end of the stream. And you too. I was thinking about whether or not to raid, but I'm gonna say perhaps not. Roto is sending me virtual hugs, and I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you everyone for stopping by, and I hope you all have a good night. I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna be streaming. I probably won't tomorrow. Just as a heads up. So I'm looking at maybe Wednesday. And have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.